Everyone. This is Todd Kleismit. We had a little bit of a technical glitch to work through, but I think I'm not actually Chris Hurtubise, despite what your screen is telling you. um, Thanks everyone for joining us. This is, as Chris mentioned, the second edition of TODD Talks, which is our monthly sort of office hours here. I'm not going to give like a big presentation, but we want to kind of just share some information about what's happening with the commission. And wow, we are coming to you live from the Toledo Museum of Art in the Glass Pavilion. And the reason we're here is we just launched our second of what is called Trails and Tales. Tales is Tales, by the way, storytelling. And so we just launched the Creativity Trail here in Toledo, and even the weather cooperated. We've had a great morning. And so we are here in Toledo. And not only that, but I'm able to have a special guest with me here, Melinda Huntley, who is the executive director of the Ohio Travel Association. She also serves on the America 250 Ohio Commission. And although I could tell you about this launch today, Melinda is really the creative force behind this. And so I'll let Melinda tell you a little bit more about the trail. So Melinda, thanks for being with me.
Sure. Thanks for inviting me. We're super excited about the Ohio Creativity Trail and the enthusiasm today. I think what do we have, about 100?
We had about 100, yeah.
Right, about 100 special guests, lots of media that will be talking about it. But the Ohio Creativity Trail is about recognizing. Look at that! No, it is about recognizing Ohio's contribution to creativity into the arts. And what a great story to tell. One of the speakers I really loved, because they were saying, this is a good news story. This is something that art brings us all together. And this was such a lovely event to celebrate that and to recognize. When we tell the story of creativity, how do we tell it? Well, we curated it based on 6 different kind of like genres or themes. So we have music, we have on the page, which includes poets, authors, children's book illustrators, and cartoonists, graphic novelists. We have visual arts, so includes painters, sculptors, our fine art museums, glass and pottery. Ohio has such a rich history in glass and pottery. We had several of those sites actually came today, brought some exhibits. We had a glass exhibit from Gay Fad Studios in Lancaster. And then we had, was it the American Ceramics Museum came?
Museum of Ceramics,
Museum of Ceramics came. And had some ceramics on display. And then, I don't know if I went through all 6, but the other one is one that's most unusual, but people are like really jazzed about it. And that's carousels. Ohio has one of the largest collections of carousels. And it's even been documented that the first carousel in the United States began operating in Ohio. Can you believe that? Like,
I can believe it.
Yeah, it was in Hessville, Ohio, which I heard, doesn't even have a traffic light, but it has a historic marker, Todd. And so it's just, but the other thing about the carousel story, which is interesting, is that we sometimes think of history as hundreds of years back, but in this case, yes, carousels were important piece. Some of the, carousels operating in Ohio were important, but in the 1980s, there was an Ohio company that really revitalized the art of carousel carving, and that was Carousel Works in Mansfield.
Yeah.
And, they built carousels for all over the country. Now, some of their workers have now opened up new shops. So, it's just really, once you start digging into these stories and exploring these sites, it's endless and really just fascinating.
Right. Yeah, we had someone came as Elijah Pierce. So if you're in this Columbus area, you probably have a notion of who Elijah Pierce is. We had a glass blowing demonstration.
Yep.
We had
some students from the Toledo Museum of Art, including a lovely vocalist, and she and another songwriter performed one of their original jazz pieces.
Outer Village was here, and anyway, we could go on and on. But what a
Yeah.
amazing morning we've had. So this was our second. And Melinda, do you want to preview a little bit about the third one that'll come later this year?
Sure. The third one is focused on Erie to the Ohio. So it will talk about lighthouses, maritime museums, the canals, the Ohio River artifacts, and basically how our waterways really shaped not just the shape of Ohio, but because they moved people and goods and ideas. They shaped our economy, they shaped our culture. So we're going to explore some of those themes. So look for call for submissions for sites in probably the next few weeks. So probably not next week, Todd.
You're right. We need a little bit of time, but yeah, we'll have, we intend to have a total of 6. We're going to have one on leaders. Also, we're going to have
Transportation.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, so
someone asked what were the other 2 themes. Yeah, I should have counted on my fingers. Let's see: visual arts, music, carousels, folk and traditional arts, glass and pottery, and then we call it on the page, which is the literature. So those are the 6 themes that are currently.
And you can find that on our website.
Mhm.
So check that out when you get a chance. So yeah, it's been a great day so far, and it's been a really impactful week. So we started this week on Monday learning about the governor's introduced version of the state operating budget. And so we were excited to find that Governor DeWine has made America 250 a priority. And so right now, and just as a reminder for those of you who may not be following this real closely, the America 250 Ohio Commission has one line item in the state operating budget. We're grouped together with the Ohio History Connection, who of course is our fiscal agent. So we've got that very close affiliation with Ohio History Connection. And so right now we're funded by the state at $3 million in this current fiscal year. And Governor DeWine proposed $7.5 million for the work of the commission in fiscal year FY26. So that is super important. We really are about to hit our peak. And so that was just a great illustration of Governor DeWine's support for the work that we're doing. So we're super grateful for his support. And just as a reminder, we are at the beginning of the budget process, not the end. So we are working hard to connect with our state legislators in the Ohio House and the Ohio Senate. And so we're just we're grateful. I'm pretty confident we're going to continue to get the support from the Ohio General Assembly moving forward. So the governor's introduced budget is now out there, and the Ohio History Connection, the Ohio Arts Council, and others are all testifying next week. So Tuesday before the House Workforce and Higher Education Committee. So stay tuned. We'll try to keep everybody informed as the budget process moves through. The governor typically signs the budget on or about June 30th every 2 years, and so so until June 30th, we won't know for sure. But we're feeling quite optimistic and very good, and grateful to Governor DeWine for his continued support. So again, with this being Todd Talks, I'm going to just give a few updates here, and then we'll open it up for questions for people. And
I gotta get off for another interview.
Thank Melinda for all your support and being the creative force behind Trails and Tales. So thank you, Melinda.
Thanks, and have a great day, everyone.
Okay. Thanks again. Right. Hey, we have some other news. Maybe you've seen this on our social media, but we are now, we have all 88 counties have become designated as America 250 Ohio communities. So we're really excited about that. Not only that, the 88 counties, but we have, I think we're now over 300 total local governments. That's counties, cities, villages, and townships have all passed resolutions getting designated, saying that they're going to participate. They will form a local committee and they will designate a couple of people to liaison with our state commission. So, boy, are we excited about that. So, yeah, and we're still, we can now say that the semi-quincentennial is next year. So we're just so pleased with all the support and participation from local organizations and communities. So that's very exciting. And the fact that they have become designated, we had a deadline that I'll bet most of you know about. We were encouraging communities to sign up, become communities by January 31st, and that was also the deadline for a grants program. So we are intending those local committees that are being formed by those America 250 Ohio communities. It's the work of those committees that we're intending to fund as many projects as we can. $5,000 grants, or I should say up to $5,000 grants for those local committees. So we have a lot to go through, and we appreciate our partners that are helping us. We'll be evaluating grants, those applications over the next month and a half. So stay tuned for that. I can't tell you much more other than that. We won't be able to fund everything, unfortunately, but we're looking for a wide range of creative grant applications. And so stay tuned on that. We'll have more information. We're planning to announce those on or about March 31st. Okay, so also you all may recall there is a National America 250 Commission. And of course, they recently shared with us that now all states have some form of a commission or a committee that, so they're all now, all 50 states plus I think 6 different territories are all participating now. So that's great news. And the National Commission continues to share information about some of the programs and projects that they're working on. So I'm just going to touch on a few of these, and you can certainly find out more at america250.org. That is the National Commission. So they are doing America's Field Trip is one of the projects, signature events that they're doing. So the field trip is about collecting essays from students, and those that are selected can take this amazing, once in a lifetime kind of behind the scenes field trip to an iconic place in the United States. Um, and so we're hoping that Ohioans will submit their essays, students. Um, and so that is, you can find out more at the 250 Commission National website. We do have one of those venues, those locations that students that place in the national contest, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is one of the locations that they can choose from. So again, you can find out more at America's Field Trip on the america250.org site. Also, they are launching something called America's Story. And so they're planning on doing a StoryCorps themed road trip where they're collecting stories from Americans all over the United States. So that is something to look for. That hasn't launched yet, but that is something that they're working toward. That's called America's Story. Also, another thing that's going to be heavily volunteer driven, something called America Gives. And so they're looking to create the largest ever volunteer project that would be nationwide in scope. And so that's America Gives. And that is something that I think they'll be launching this year as well as we lead up to the nation's semi-quincentennial. So the National Commission continues to work, doing things that are nationwide in scope. Also, I have to give a lot of credit to the American Association of State and Local History. AASLH is also very active with things that are national in scope across the country. They are having their national conference in Cincinnati in September. And so our commission is planning to have its September commission meeting in Cincinnati and be coupled together with the AASLH conference. So we're looking forward to that in September. So another thing I'm sure you've all heard a lot about, Ohio Goes to the Movies. That continues to be moving forward at breakneck speed. That is just going to be one of our biggest events that we do. Right now, the plan is to launch that early next year and to be about 250 days in length. So look for that to kick off in February of next year. There is a new Ohio Goes to the Movies database that has been put together. So Molly Kruzman, Steve George, and others have really rolled up their sleeves and put together a pretty amazing, comprehensive database of the films, the places that where they've been, places in Ohio where the filming has occurred, things that are behind the camera. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And you can find out more at ohiogoes-to-the-movies.org. So look out for Ohio Goes to the Movies and all the amazing things that come with that. And if you haven't already seen it, there is a trailer for that now playing in select theaters. And you can also find it on the Ohio Goes to the Movies website. It features Beverly D'Angelo, proud Ohioan, and some other Ohioans you'll recognize too, Mike DeWine and Fran DeWine. So if you haven't already seen that, that is worth seeing. Check that out on online. A couple other things I wanted to mention, and then we'll certainly open it up for questions. I'm working with a group of historians and subject matter experts to launch a new webinar series that will generally be about quarterly. So we're still working on some of the details on that, but we're hoping to launch that on March 20th. And that'll be an evening webinar, and it will be recorded. So if you can't join us at that time, stick with us and you'll be able to view that later online. But we're calling it Ohio and the Revolution. So we'll probably have something like a total of 8 episodes between now and the end of 2026. So stay tuned for more on that as we continue to put that together. Finally, I just wanted to mention we're having a big emphasis on undertold stories. So there's a blog that just recently started, and so you'll be able to find more about that also on our website, america250ohio.org. So there's so many things going on. And we are just really excited. Yeah, you probably all know about our 12 monthly themes. We have a lot of really great stuff we're doing. In January, we're going to launch that with Ohio Originals. When we get to April, we're going to have a big emphasis on transportation. And so I think Wendy Zuckel's on this call. And so we're really excited about a partnership we're now calling it the 250 Buckeye train, where we're going to have a passenger train experience that starts in Columbus, goes to the Denison Railroad Depot in Tuscarawas County. Day 2 will depart from Newark and go to Denison, and there will be a big transportation festival there. So lots of exciting things. I don't want to give away too many of the details on that, but wow, is that going to be amazing. So that'll be in April of 26. Just mentioning a couple of the other monthly themes, and then I'll see what questions you have. So in July, we're going to have a big emphasis on homecoming and picnics. So we really want to incentivize organizations, communities, local groups to have homecoming events, picnics, reunions, block parties. So we're so proud to be working with Synovus Energy. They are presenting sponsor for us on that. We're going to be creating some homecoming kits for 2026. So we're really excited about that. We're also collaborating a few partners, including the Ohio Expositions Commission, on plans for the Ohio State Fair. So we're going to have a big presence at the Ohio State Fair this year, and even more so in 2026. In 1976, during the nation's bicentennial, they buried a time capsule. There's a little monument on the state house or the state fairgrounds that mentions that the time capsule is to be opened during the state fair in 2026. So we're looking forward to that. And sports in September, and agriculture and food in October, Future Ohio in December. So that's a really big way that Ohio is showing up for the nation's 250th next year. So lots of other things going on, but I'll be curious to see what kind of questions you all have. And yeah, so right now I think we'll open it up for questions. think people can unmute
They
if
should
they
be able
want,
to.
or put something in the chat if you like. Oh, okay, yeah. So Amy is asking about the 2 lights for tomorrow. Yes, thank you for the reminder on that, Amy. Yes, we are planning 2 lights for tomorrow. There's still some details to be worked out, but that'll be a sort of a 2-day event at I think most states are participating in. And what that really is we're encouraging, well, the Ohio State House is going to have 2 lights up in the cupola on the evening of Friday, April 18, to commemorate the famous Paul Revere ride through the countryside, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. So we'll have 2 lights up there. We also are hoping that our historic county courthouses might put some lights up that evening, but we have some more work to be done on that. And the idea is that the next day, April 19th, is the 250th anniversary of Lexington and Concord and the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. And so that'll be on Saturday, April 19th. So stay tuned for more details. We're still working through some things, but thanks for asking about that, Amy. I think Debbie, you had a question. Hi, Debbie. Okay. All right. How about Brenda? Brenda, do you have a question? See, your hand is up. Either Brenda or Debbie. I think you're both muted, but hope you can unmute, but maybe you can't. Okay, it says they can't unmute.
Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Just 1 second while we figure that out.
There I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we
Okay,
can.
now
Thank
we
you.
Great.
can. Thanks for
Thank
your
you
patience.
so much. I asked this a little earlier, but maybe it got lost in the chat.
Okay.
For those of us who are fortunate enough to have attractions on the Creativity Trail, is there a press release that we can use and modify for our own out there somewhere on the website? Or are you sending them to our counties that have those attractions?
Yeah, Chris is best to answer that. So Chris?
Yeah, thanks for your question. So we sent out to any of the sites late last night a link to a resource folder with the logo, social media, and the press release. The next wave will be the CVBs and other partners. If you put your name in the chat, your email, I'll make sure anybody who wants it, I'll make sure you get it, and I can do that right after this call. Thanks for the question.
Excellent. It did appear that we got great media today for this event, so yay.
So we have Brenda and we have Elaine, both have their hands up.
Brenda, are you able to unmute?
See if I can do it over here. She should be able to. Brenda, if you want to put your question in the chat, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. We'll try to answer it by taking a look at it. Sorry about that. Okay.
Remember the URL for the trails?
Oh, sure. So if you go to America250ohio.org, for creativity, it's /Ohio America-creativity-trail. For air and space, it's america250-ohio.org/trails-and-tails. And I could put that in the chat as well.
Who else has questions?
Thank you for doing it via chat. Elena, I don't know if we got to your question or not. If you could drop it in the chat, that would be great. Thanks for your interest, everybody, for asking for the press release. We'll make sure you get that. One of the things that we were excited about was we did get some nice support here, and then we know a lot will be happening in the communities as we go on. So we're happy to share that with you. This is also our second Todd Talks. Did you talk about the next one?
Did not.
So we'll do this again in March, and we're gonna, in between now and then, we're gonna figure out our technology because we're still training wheels. So we appreciate your patience. And that will be the first Friday in March. I'll have to look and see what that date is because I actually don't know the date.
Might be March 7th.
Yeah, probably. Okay, let's see here. Elaine put in a note. Yes, we'll get you a press release. Also, is the Facebook Live for today's creativity up? Okay, so talk about technical issues. We weren't able to connect, and so what we're going to do is we recorded the whole thing. We had a great videographer here. We'll be putting we'll put it on our YouTube and we'll connect to it from Facebook. So thanks for that question.
Fantastic. And, again, don't feel obligated to join every Todd Talk the first Friday, but we'd love to have you. The next one will be Friday, March 7th. And
At noon.
Yeah, at noon. So great. Okay. By the way, we'll stick around another couple minutes here, but we do want to give you your time back if there are no additional questions. I want to just point out real quick, our next commission meeting, our commission meets quarterly. We're going to be meeting in Akron, and if anybody's in the Akron area, you probably know this. It is Akron's bicentennial this year, and it's also the bicentennial of the beginning of the construction on the canals. And so it's a huge year for Akron. We're pleased to be with our friends in Akron next month for our commission meeting. So just thought I'd share that.
Yes, we got a couple more questions. Will you send the link to March's Todd Talk registration in this group? Absolutely, count on it. And then we will also put it on our webpage. We'll put this recording on YouTube. It might be Monday because we're going to be driving home after this. So thanks for your question about the flag and the brand kit. We are catching up. As a matter of fact, on Friday, today's Friday, yesterday, we were putting together a big mailing of flags and materials. And one of the things was we had a lot of volume all at the end because of the grants program. So we are in the process of catching up. So have no fear. We're going to get you what you need. Earlier in the chat, I put hello@america250-ohio.org. That's our general email box. We all have access to that. You can, if you have a concern about anything, including maybe materials, if you haven't gotten them, just drop it there. We'll make sure we get you taken care of. We appreciate your patience as we've been working through. Did you say how many we had, Todd?
I think here today,
Yeah.
I think we had close to 100 people here.
No, I meant for the America 250 Ohio communities.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
Okay.
All 88 counties, and I think we're at about 300 or so communities altogether. So wow, we have exceeded our own expectations, which we thought were pretty lofty. So
Yeah.
we're really excited about that.
Yeah, so you can imagine handling 300 kind of all at once. So the commission meetings are open to the public. So anyone who wants to come, we do ask for registration so we can basically, know that you're coming so we can have enough food. We do serve lunch as part of that. The meetings start at 10:30, right?
Right.
They go till about, what are we going to?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, plus or minus, with lunch in there. And each time we will report on, things that are happening. We also have committee reports. So our 6th committee, they're the chairs of those report on things that are happening. Okay, here's a question. You want to take this next one?
Well, let me just mention real quick. You can find out more about our meetings, our quarterly meetings on our website. There is a place, I think it's in the About section.
It's actually under resources.
Resources, okay.
And it's a section called meetings, and you'll see the listings of the meetings for 2025 there. Is there a list of all the community partners online? No, there's not. We have a lot of them. That's something we'll probably work on. That's a good suggestion. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate that. In 2026, will there be a statewide program site?
I interpret that to mean maybe a calendar.
2 programs, one on local history business, one. Well, there might be a couple ways to answer that. One is we're going to have a calendar on our website. We hope to launch it still in the next couple months, where if you have an America 250 Ohio related program or event, you can put it on the calendar, which will then be shared widely, to everybody who comes to our website. So that might be one way that we can help share your program. These are good questions.
Yeah.
We bring them on. Somebody today said, we like questions because it helps us. It helps us think, or it helps us, know. Anyways, we appreciate questions.
For sure.
So we're going to go to lightning round. If we'll take maybe 2 or 3 more minutes for any other questions. If we don't have any, we'll get ready to wrap up. See, it worked. Here came one. Regarding the picnic and America 250 Ohio kits, how many can realistically be distributed across a county? We've got a lot of different groups inquiring, but we need to level set expectations. Fair question. So the Ohio Homecoming and Picnic program, it's a working team. So each project has a working team that helps organize the initiative. That working team is working on that question right now. So there's probably going to be 2 levels of picnics. One is a community level where maybe 50, 100, thousands of people come together. So that's one type of answer. The other is like let's say my family wanted to have a family picnic, but I don't want to be publicized. I don't necessarily want people to come. We're calling those grassroots picnics. For public picnics, we are planning to provide materials for those sites to have materials. Now we're wrestling through or thinking through how to do that, given that numbers will be variable. So we're working on the answer to that. And then and that would include some physical objects. For the grassroots, it'll be digital because it's going to be small scale, and there'll be things that you can do as activities. And so we'll know this later this spring, exactly what that program is going to look like. Did we get another question?
Mm-hmm. When will the recording be supplied? There's someone on a media deadline today.
Oh, okay. If you want to, Spencer, if you want to get in touch with me, we will help you out. I can put in the chat in a second when I get my hands free, my email address.
Okay. Great.
Well, thanks, friends. This has been great. Thank you for experimenting with us. This is the second, and we're learning every time we do this. We're going to get better and better to the point where maybe we can even go to Hollywood at some point.
Hey.
Maybe as part of Ohio Goes the Movie.
Hey,
what do you think?
I like that.
Yeah. So have a great day. Thanks for coming. If you have other questions, you can use the hello at America250-ohio.org. We'll answer any of your questions. And of course, you can always come back to a Todd Talk in March. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next month, if not sooner.
Have a great day.
Okay. Bye.